When you go to the world's best of entrepreneurs, they used to learn from the presentation style of Steve Jobs. Do you know why? As Sir has wonderfully quoted, that Steve Jobs made the people buy a cell phone of 20,000 for 1 lakh, buy a laptop which costs approximately 40 to 50,000 for 1.5 lakhs to 2 lakhs. The MacBook, a brand of Apple, into a prestigious thing. When you carry Apple phone, you feel that you are carrying your prestige. He converted that particular brand into a prestige thing. So that is the way of presentation. You may have a lots of idea in your brain, but if you are not a good communicator, if you are not a very good presenter, then it is no use of having those ideas. You may be the most intelligent person in the room, but when you sum up all the amounts, it becomes zero if you are not a very good presenter. Some people are there who are not a good idea creators, who are not a very good solution creators, but the way they present, the way they communicate their ideas, their message to the people love them like crazy. They used to buy them. They are convinced by them. So this topic is taken from yesterday's topic, how to become a very good entrepreneur, a successful entrepreneur. An entrepreneur is not a person who creates the solution, but also know how to sell the solution, how to present the solution in front of thousands and millions. So now let us discuss few tips, 10 to 12 tips that can make you a very good presenter from the life of Steve Jobs. So now let us move to the first point of today's PPT. Start with an outline. Look at the way I started the presentation. I started with a quote. Let us come and learn 10 to 12 tips on the way of presentation. So whenever you start, give an outline to the audience that what are they going to learn or what are they going to intake from your presentation, from your speech. Give them idea where they are going to be after your presentation. Give them a goal, because people usually don't listen to the presenters who do not have a goal, who do not have a vision. So give a vision to your audience and hook the attention at the very beginning of your presentation. So now let us quickly move to the second point. That is, don't share your PPT. Don't share your ideas. People are least interested in listening your ideas, in listening your thoughts. They are bored with their present life. They are bored with their present lifestyle. In spite of sharing your thoughts, take them into an imagination world, the world of dreams, because everyone loves to be in the world of dreams. Everyone loves to listen stories which are real, which are relatable. And Steve Jobs is one of those persons, one of those entrepreneurs who used this skill in a very creative way. It was a weapon for him. He used to tell a very good story at the beginning of his presentation and grabbed the attention of the audience. And the audience loved to listen to him like crazy, because he took the audience, he used to take the audience into a world of dreams where everyone likes to be, where everyone likes to live. So coming to the third point, the way Steve Jobs used the headlines, the slogans. Did you remember the brand of Nestle? If I would ask anyone, do you remember Nestle? Many of you would say no. But if you would remember the headline, the catchy slogan of Nestle, good food, good life. Apple, think better. Clinic Plus, a pocket sachet to wash your hair anywhere, anytime. Dairy Milk, dive into milk. So Steve Jobs always used these catchy headlines the catchy lines like Twitter and Facebook to grab the attention of the people. A thickest MacBook that can fit into an envelope. The time you use this headline, everyone starts imagining the thing that you are going to demonstrate to them. They show your attention, they show their attention towards you. You grab the attention, you hook the people towards your presentation. So use catchy headlines whenever you start. Think different. The way Steve Jobs used to start his presentation. And everyone started dreaming about what are they going to see at the end of PPT, the end of the presentation, the way they can think differently. Good food, good life. Yes, exactly. These are the catchy headlines. Now coming to the fourth point, why do people like some of the films that are made in Bollywood, Hollywood, or Tollywood? Why do you love to watch Avengers movies? Why do people are crazy about KGF? Because the villains are more stronger at the beginning. And that is what Steve Jobs used in his presentation. He used to introduce the villain as a very big one. And then when he introduced the hero, the solution, people love that solution. Because if a film's villain is not stronger, the hero will not have that value. So you have to anticipate the problem as a very big one. And then when you introduce your solution, then when you introduce your idea, people love to listen to it. And Steve Jobs did this when he introduced the MacBook. He compared the MacBook, the thinnest MacBook of this world. He compared it with IBM computer, the thickest computer in this world. It has been ever made. The thickest computer was IBM. He used to compare his thinnest MacBook to the thickest IBM computer. And the way he introduced the villain, the problem, and when he presented his solution, people loved, people were convinced by his solution. People were convinced by his idea and people used to buy them. That is why Apple has become a brand ambassador of prestige. So introduce your villain as a very stronger one, then introduce the hero, it will have a value. Next, do not use stats. It is very boring. How many of you love to learn geometry? Many people will lower their hands. And when I used to say how many people love to do addition and subtraction, everyone will raise their hands. Do you know why? Because stats are really very boring. If I would introduce a camera of 108 megapixel, do you remember? Would you have been remember that megapixel if I would have just told you about 108 megapixel camera? No. But the way I represent, the way I present 108 megapixel camera can actually help you to click the pictures like a DSLR will do. At that point, you will be convinced by me. 128 GB of memory card. Why should anyone buy that memory card? Why anyone should buy that much capacity mobile? Because it can store thousands of movies, lakhs of songs, 10,000, more than 10,000 videos. And the time I use this particular code, that 128 GB will actually help you to store more than thousands of movies in your particular phone. You will love to go with that idea because you are convinced by tangible things. People love to see the tangible things. People love to be with the reality, not with the stats. They're very boring. So don't use stats rather than convert into the tangible values. Now, what is the secret of Steve Jobs' presentation? Do you know why people love to listen to him? Why people love to buy Apple phones? Because he always had a point in his mind that people's memory is very much weak. People used to forget things very easily. And that is what the armor of Steve Jobs' presentation was. He used to give only 3 points. Yes, only 3 points. Throughout the PPT, he used to give three important points, three key points that can easily be rememberable by all the audience. When I will use to say the thinnest laptop of this world that you can fit into an envelope and you can carry in your bag very easily, you will forget that particular thing. But if I will say the thinnest laptop in the envelope, you will remember my point because it is very short, very crispy. The 3 points, and that can be easily rememberable by everyone in this world. So whenever you want to present your ideas, present it in a very crispy way, in a very short way. Don't bore it. So always use to give three important points in your presentation throughout your PPT. Now coming to why people buy Apple and they consider it as a brand ambassador of prestige. Because Steve Jobs used to sell dreams to the people. Everyone in this world are covered of problems, are surrounded by lots of problems. But at the time you come on the stage and take the people to a dream world and you tell them this dream world can be a future in your life, people will start focusing on you. And that is the hook where Steve Jobs grabbed the attention of the people. He used to sell the dreams. You are using your phone with 16 numbers, with 16 digits of keypad on it. But the future is, look at the future. You can just tap one button and you can use Google Assistant Siri in your phone and you can control, you can access the whole mobile. The time he used to speak like this, people love to buy that dream. So don't sell your ideas, sell the dreams that people are having in their mind. Sell the dreams in which they want to live. And that what makes a perfect salesman. It is not only helpful in presenting your idea, but it is also a tip that can actually help you to clear any interview. Because a company also wants to live in dreams of profits and growth and development. So sell the dreams, sell the future to the public, to the people, to the audience. And now coming to again a very common point. Don't clutter your presentation. Don't trick your presentation. Don't make your presentation clumsy. Steve Jobs always had this point in his mind that people don't like to be cluttered, don't like puzzles. They like simple lives. They like simple formulas, simple solutions. If you would look onto this particular slide of the PPT, there is one picture with no background, and there is only a word written on it. And that is what Steve Jobs used to do throughout his PPT. He either used pictures or words. Because if you use to make a very big content on your PPT, on your presentation, people will get confused and people will not like to listen to you. People will not focus on your attention, on your speech, on your presentation. So Steve Jobs has conveyed a message that if you want to present, if you want to become a very good presenter, a very good communicator, communicate in an easily accessible language, in an easy way that people at all the levels can understand your solution, can understand your presentation, your thought, your message, and they can get focused on your presentation. So use your PPT to get presented in a very simple language, in a very easily accessible language. Now, moving on to another tip by Steve Jobs, people used to get bored by long presentations. So, what he used to do is he used to break his presentation in every 5 to 10 minutes. Like he started his presentation with an idea, with a thought, with a message, then he come to the story, then he again go to the dreams, then he again come to the thoughts, then he again used to tell the story, then he again used to get into the dreams. Because if I would say you prepare an essay, you will get bored on it. But if I will say prepare a summary, and then I will again make you come on to the videos, then I will again take you to the phrases. That is how you like your life to be. So he used to break his presentation after every 10 minutes, like I'm also doing. I started with the presentation, I came on to the dreams, I stated some stories, then again I came on to the presentation, then I will again go to the stories, then dreams, then presentation. This is how the Pomodoro technique is used by Steve Jobs to grab the attention, to maintain the focus of the people. And that's why people love to listen. Moving to the next point, you may be very energetic, you may be very positive, you may be very enthusiastic, but how people are going to get that? By the words you use. Amazing, extraordinary, excellent, exceptionally outstanding. The way you use your words, the way you convey your energy. And Steve Jobs always used to do this. He used a very powerful words. We have a bulk of words which are very powerful, and when you use those words, you convey your energy to the audience. If I'm standing on a stage and I will say like this, extraordinary presentation, extraordinary ideas, excellent answer given by Kalyan sir, excellent answer given by Saurabh, exceptionally outstanding Tripura man, I'm conveying my energy to them. And the point I will convey that energy, they will also feel energetic. So always use powerful words which can convey your energy, your positive attitude, your enthusiasm to the audience. Moving to the next slide, focus on customers' problem. People are least interested on your solution. They are least interested in listening to your ideas. Rather than telling or selling your solutions, sell them their problems. This is what was quoted by Steve Jobs. If you are standing on a stage and selling your solutions to them, they will be least interested. But if you are selling the problems to them, yes, exactly, you have listened the very correct thing, problems to them, they will be very interested in buying and they will be convinced by your solution. Because when Steve Jobs used to use this line for selling his MacBook, you don't have to carry a bag. You just have to carry an envelope in which you can put your MacBook, the thinnest MacBook of this world. When he introduced Apple and Siri in his Apple mobiles, in his iPhone, he used this line. Now you don't have to access your mobile with 16 key numbers. You just have to tap one button and you can easily access the total mobile phone with your voice command. Because people are surrounded by lots of problems. And when you sell them those problems, they like to buy the solutions that you are giving. So focus on customers' problem. And now coming to the last tip, one of the important tips that Steve Jobs and most intelligent presenters used to do, they don't read from a script. They don't read from their PPTs. They don't read the captions from their mobiles. Rather than using all these techniques, they use to go with the bullet points. They used to go with pictures because pictures speaks more louder than words. A picture is equal to 1,000 words. A video is equal to millions of sentences and phrases. And that is what the bulletin points is used in a very creative way that people love to listen to. Because when you use your boring script, people also get bored because they don't want to listen to you. They want a short and crispy one. So let us move to the next point, which is again a very important point quoted by many of you in this meeting. So the next slide, please. Effortless by practicing. As many of you has quoted, Steve Jobs used to lock himself in a room for months and hours and days and weeks and practiced many times. Because when you practice a lot for one thing, you become perfect. Practice makes a man perfect. And when you are perfect by practicing, your efforts that you have done for the presentation will be at the least points. People don't want to see your efforts. People are least interested in your hard work. Don't show your efforts standing on the stage. That is what Steve Jobs used to say. He practiced for hours and weeks to show his effort on a very small scale, that he has not done any efforts. Rather than taking efforts, he has practiced for hours and weeks. That is what you also have to do to be a very good presenter. Now, moving to the last point, last but not the least, that Steve Jobs used to do, that is demonstrating. Demonstration is one of those keywords that Steve Jobs contained in his PPT. Sir, can you please move to the next slide? People don't want to look what you want them to imagine. People want to demonstration. People want to see what exactly you are going to sell them. Steve Jobs never used to stand on a stage and speak about what he is exactly going to do. But rather than, he used to show to the people carrying an envelope, and in one hand, he used to carry his MacBook, and putting his MacBook into an envelope, he used to say the thinnest MacBook in an envelope. So demonstration is one of the key point, one of the armor that Steve Jobs used to do to become a very good presenter. So coming to the end of the PPT, Steve Jobs always used all these points, and not all these points, there are many more points which Steve Jobs used to do, and now he has become one of the experts of the presenter. He totally converted the presentation style into an art form. And last but not the least, there is one more tip that you should follow to become a very good presenter and a communicator is don't make your presentation very long. I have covered it in at least, I think I covered it in maximum to maximum 20 minutes. Because when you carry on a very long process, people get bored. That is what we are also doing over here. We give to a 21 days challenge because the 21 days is very small in front of 2 to 3 months of a process, and you feel enthusiastic. So thank you very much for coming to this meeting, for understanding how to become a very good presenter, and I hope that you all will apply these points and will become a very good presenter and a communicator and sell yourself at the higher cost. Thank you everyone. Thank you very much, sir.